name, okay? They file it under it's kind of like an IOU that's recorded in the county clerk under the individual's name. That's a lien. Now, what is generally included on a lien? I remember I had recently settled a serious trust litigation where a woman called me up and she said, my parents died, and my uncle, he was the executor, the personal representative of the estate, and they died about 4.5 years ago, and they didn't pay out the guy didn't pay a penny. He stole the entire inheritance. Okay, and I think I want to go file a lien on his property. That's what she said. She wants to file a lien. That wouldn't be the correct action to take. You can't just go and file a lien because you think that somebody owes you money. If you loan somebody money and he doesn't pay you back, you can't just go file a lien. That would be a fraudulent lien, and that's actionable. Okay, that would be a slander of title type action. All right. So generally, liens are investments that you make in property. It's generally quite limited. Generally limited to labor and material. I mean, it's just as simple as that. If somebody files a fraudulent lien, they probably will get sued. Okay, they'll have to pay significant damages for filing a fraudulent lien. A lien is enforced for 1 year. Okay, what is the difference between a lien and a lis pendens? A lien is just kind of like you're filing an IOU in the clerk. A lis pendens is notice that there's actually a lawsuit. That we don't only have an IOU, but we've converted that IOU to an actual lawsuit litigation, where there's a complaint and there was service, and now there is a full-blown litigation. That's a lis pendens. That's the difference. Now, a lien is done within a year. It's extinguished. A lis pendens, that's going to stay on for until the case settles. Question? Yes, sir.
Is a lien a claim that a debt is owed, or evidence that a debt is owed?
No, it's not evidence. It's a claim. Yep, it's a claim. Generally, it is a claim, and then we file a lawsuit and begin to litigate and extract evidence to support the lien. And then when we do that, we file a lis pendens. We give notice that there's currently a lawsuit that's being litigated based on a particular lien or based on a particular matter, whatever it might be. And that's really the difference between a lis pendens and a lien. That is, yes.
Can a lien be enforced on a property that's managed or has a community fee or something like that? Can management corporation where you're gated community and so on?
Right. Yeah. Can a lien be enforced?
Wrong word. Can a lien be applied?
Applied
By the management company?
By the management company for outstanding HOA? Yeah, of course, absolutely. They do it. That's done every like 1,000 times a day in the county.
So is that in the title search?
Yeah, that comes up, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. We recently closed
so
up.
They don't file, the HOA doesn't file the lien or...
Well, the HOAs, I mean, if you want to get on HOAs, we could talk a little just briefly about HOAs. HOAs are very powerful entities down here in South Florida, okay? Generally within Florida, I mean, they're very powerful. Whenever we close, whenever a title company is going to close title, if there's an HOA involved, we need the HOA to sign off that all the debt's been paid. It's called an estoppel. It's an HOA estoppel. So we can't properly transfer title without the HOA kind of saying, signing off on it, that there's no money owed. Okay? So that's as far as HOAs. Now, all right. Now, the difference between a lien and a lis pendens. We had a case recently where an HOA was owed some money. Okay, so they filed a lien, and then the owner had some unapproved tenants living in the unit. Okay, unapproved tenants. So the HOA was up in arms about these unapproved tenants, and they sued them for these unapproved tenants. and they filed the list pendants. So they sued them, and they just filed the list pendants, and they left the lawsuit open. They just, all right, we sued, the lawsuit stays open, and then when they come to sell the house, now they have to settle all these outstanding issues. And then all the attorneys submit all their bills, and then and they have to be paid, and then everything gets signed off and settled. How am I doing on time?
Good.
Good?
You got about another 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay. Okay, why to hire an attorney? You want to hire an attorney because you're investing a lot of money, and you want to make sure that things are done right. I had a case recently. I mean, this is egregious, but this was recently. I had a friend of mine. He's kind of like a management company. He brought in 2 of his friends. One guy bought a piece of property just 6 weeks ago from an REO, and he was selling the property to another friend, 2 friends. Okay, so he says to me, "Do I really need title insurance?" I said, "You need title insurance." He's like, "No, let me get just quit claim deed to me. It's no big deal. We're friends. Everyone's friends here. No, do a closing. You're investing $70,000. What's the big deal? You'll spend another $1,500 to make sure it's done right. What do you? Okay." So he said, "Okay, we'll do the closing." So they signed the contract. We start processing the closing. Now this was kind of like a flip, okay, because it was within about a month, 6 weeks. So the previous title company didn't yet process and record all of the previous documents. So I had to communicate with the previous title company. So I'm talking to the previous title company, and the owner says, "This son of a gun, the seller, owes him, the title company, $3,000 because he convinced a new paralegal at the title company to give him a $3,000 closing discount." Okay, and the bank approved the HUD. It was an REO. The bank approved the HUD, and then they came back to the title company to reimburse the $3,000. And when I called him and told him that I'm negotiating this, the next sale and settling the new sale, he was so happy to hear from me because now he was able to collect the $3,000 that he had put out for that other Shylock. It was an egregious case, and he was quite. The previous title company was very happy that But the bottom line is the previous title company had a claim to $3,000, and essentially I told the previous title company to prepare a lien. They didn't have to record it, but they had to put it to my attention so that I could present it to the previous owner and explain, "Hey, listen, you weaseled some paralegal to give you a $3,000 discount. It's not right." And now he ended up paying that $3,000. But that would have been a significant problem if he would have accepted title via quitclaim deed. That would have been a significant issue because that $3,000 claim would have clouded the title. It would have still been part of the title, and eventually the title company probably would have sued. And without this process, that would have never come out. Okay, so it's worth it. It's a small investment, and it's worth it. Sometimes there's significant legal issues that arise, lawsuits and litigations. We have a case now where a woman died, kind of like a week before closing. It was husband and wife, and a woman died. So now we need to deal with that. Sometimes there are paralegal errors, just as I explained. It happens. I'm not saying it happens often, but sometimes you have paralegal errors, and they put the numbers on the wrong side, and they attribute some